believe it or not, I had to restart this because I found myself getting pissed off. All right. And I had to stop and re-record it. I was venting to a certain degree, and I was all over the place. So we're gonna restart it. We're gonna restructure this back. All right. I just got off work. It's a Sunday, right? Doesn't break me at all. You don't have to be broke. You can have what you want. You don't have to be broke. But most people would just rather just sit and complain instead of just change. Just change. You know, it almost feels like a detox. That's what it feels like to me right now. You know, it actually feels like a detox. The feeling of reminding myself, let me show you something. The feeling that I'm reminding myself that where I am in my life is my fault, and actually facing that, really forward facing that. It's almost been a year since I've really been very intentional with this. And I'm realizing it's not just about saving the money, it's about the mindset. You can change it. You really can change it. Let me show you something. Look. Can you see it? Can you see that? That's 2 years, 7 months, 21 days. 964 days of not inhaling tobacco. I feel like I have to be smart about saying that because I do enjoy a cigar every now and then. You know, why not? Maybe, yeah, I enjoy a good cigar, right? But it's been 964 days since I've inhaled tobacco. And do you understand that shifting my mindset feels like I'm stopping smoking all over again? That's how hard it is. That's how hard it is. I find myself throughout the day having mood swings almost. Because why am I 30? About to be 31 next month, Leo gang. And I'm starting to realize, oh my gosh, I'm just getting this. But I have no regrets, right? The OGs say it all the time. In your 20s, you grind, you figure out what's going on, right? You really muscle. If you're bored, work. If you're tired, work. If you're sick, work, right? That was it. In your 20s, work. Not aimlessly, but work. And in your 30s, as a man, you'll reach your financial stride. Occupationally, you'll reach your stride, right? So I don't feel like I'm behind the ball at all. At all. But most of us grew up thinking that that's just how life worked. Most of us, at least my circle, which is why I made the last video explaining how your network is so important. I've got so much more on that. The moment I was actually making that video, I realized this is going to have to be something separate. But until then, I really did make sure I stay focused. Y'all, it's really a mindset. The same way you can just choose to stop smoking, it's the same way when you can just choose to say, you know what? Being broke ain't for me. You just have to say it. You honestly just have to say it. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm not. You just have to say it. You really just have to say it. And then keep saying it. There's moments I will wake up and say it. Like, you know what? Nah, I can't be broke. I have $5,000 in my account, $10,000 in my account. I have these visions that I wake up with $55,000 in my account. And I'll still wake up and be like, not enough. Not enough. There are people who are on this planet who say, you know, as long as I can pay my phone bill, as long as I can pay my rent, and go to, what's some bullshit festival people go to? Not Summer Jam or something like that, right? What's, I don't know, some fucking festival, right? You know, as long as I got tickets to go to, Buttfuck Summer 2026, right? Then they'll say, oh yeah, that's all I need. I was talking to my ex the other day, and we had went out, and my budget's been very tight. Very tight. By choice, right? And she had asked me something, or if I could, we went to this place. I was in Ohio hanging out, right? And she was like, hey, can you pay for something? And I was like, oh, hey, I'm broke. And I only said it because the place only took cards, they didn't take cash. So I just said I was broke, but I wasn't broke. I just happened to say it. And you know what she told me? She said, hey, stop speaking out on yourself. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. And in that moment, I realized that it's as equally powerful as the way your mind thinks as the way what your mouth says. I'm not here to sit here and preach any voodoo. I'm not here to say, oh yeah, I've learned these old voodoo lessons, or, oh, manifestation is key. No, it actually takes hard work, goddammit. It just does. That's why I'm making this video in this dirty shirt, reminding myself I went to work today. So when I look at this 3 years later, or I show my kids 22 years later, well, not the kids that clearly already have, but my additional kids, and I show them this 22 years later, I'll say, listen, this was me. Remember this? Look, that was me. I'll show them little pictures and shit like, hey, look, this was me, right? And I'll be like, this was me at the time. I'm telling you, look at the date of the published video. It was me at your age, or, nearby it, or 8 years your senior then. Well, to where they were. You get the gist, damn it. I had to learn to stop speaking it. My hard work will catch up with my success. It does now, and it always will. It always has. Distractions. Texts right now. Texts right now. Don't care, all right? I put it on vibrate. Somehow I still hear it. But, y'all, I promise you, it's just in your mind. It's just in your mind. I'll do you one better. I used to work in corporate America. Let's not go through the details. And I used to say to my manager, I walked up to him in his cubicle. I was hanging out with him. I said, man, all I want to do is make $40,000 a year. This was before COVID. I said, that's all I want to do is just make 40 grand a year. I looked it up. I can afford a place to rent. I mean, I had it all set up in my mind. And you know what he told me? What's wrong with 60? And I look back and I ask myself, well, I was like, why would I need 60? Like, y'all, that's why I think back of the shit and it makes me just wonder, like, damn, where was I? Where was I in life, bro? Because whole time, 60 wasn't shit. It's like I really had to stop then, pre-COVID stuff, right? I had to tell myself then, wait a minute, something's not right here. I wasn't at that job for more than 6 more months. After that, I went into trucking. And then after that, I went into pure entrepreneurship. I haven't been an employee in, I don't even want to take the time to think about it. Once I realized that I could make 40 grand in 3 months, I said, oh, okay, all right. And I look back at myself at that point in time and I say, damn, I really starting to see where I'm coming from. Like literally coming from, as in literally came from. I don't know, y'all. For the giant wave that technology has taken from, we could say 2008, we could say pre-COVID, hell, even 2013. That was a fair time. That was a fair time in life. You have to understand that poverty is a disease. I've been all over this country. My parents were both in the military. We lived everywhere. And I take these thoughts into my adult life and I say, damn, I've seen poverty. I was just in Maryland a couple weeks ago hanging out. Drove through Baltimore. Poverty is a mindset. It's almost like people don't believe what's like an hour away. It's like they just don't get it. I understand both sides of the coin. I really do. And I rarely thought I would make videos for the person who can only see it one-sided and not the side I see. But if you don't see the side that I see, do yourself the favor and do me one too. And try your best to identify the other side of the coin. Do your best to identify the other side of the coin. It's not just one side, it's two-sided. Nothing is working against you except yourself. And I'm no multimillionaire. Nowhere near. I don't even have $100 grand in assets to my name. Close, but I don't. And that's just in assets. I don't really rock with Steve Harvey anymore. But one thing I heard him say was something that stuck with me for my entire life. So far, still here. And that was that the best thing you can do for poor people is to not become one of them. You're in America. If you're willing to work for it, there's a way to get it. Attention, future me. Dirty shirt. We just left Savannah. Just left our military base. Fort Stewart. Still got the same shirt on, bro. You need to go to sleep. It's getting late. Reminder, you don't need to look rich. You just need to build wealth. That's what I'm doing here. I'm only going to make so many videos like this. Because I'm going to look back and I'm going to know what I was thinking at the time that I was watching myself. Well, I'm going to think back to what I was thinking by looking at myself and knowing me. But the pot's stirring, so it'll be all right. Just know, y'all, a lesson that I learned over these last 2 days, start treating your time like money. I started time blocking my day. I started speaking success. I audited my circle. And I had to stop entertaining broke talk. That shit happened to me today, y'all. Literally, it happened to me today. Buddy of mine called me. Was talking about how he saw something on the internet about some inspection people in Arkansas were giving him an inspection on his truck. And he started talking about how the stuff that Trump did to help white people is starting to backfire on them. Because the same way that they were checking the foreigners and hell, they didn't pull a white guy in and just have him read this piece of paper. And if you can't read, they'll fine you, take your CDL. If you can't pay, you go to jail. But, he fed me that line of bullshit. It's true, but I'll tell you why it's bullshit. When he said that, I was like, well, hell, if you drive a truck in the United States, I would hope you can fucking read. And he was like, yeah, well, they found out some of the white dudes couldn't read either. So it started fucking them up too. And then he said that statement saying, oh, the stuff that Trump did is actually fucking up white people too, and it's working against him. I was like, hey man, Trump did that for Americans. Like he did that shit for Americans. Does it matter what fucking race you are? If the person who's driving 6 feet to your left is controlling an 80,000-pound weapon who can't fucking read? Like, does it matter? Does it matter what race you are in your car? If the person 6 feet to your left can't read, bruh? Like, come on, man. And I was like, we're not even talking about money. I didn't even bring up a dollar with the guy. But you know what I said to myself? This is broke talk. And you know what? You know what the next thing he said was? No, I thought about it. The very next thing he said was, damn, what'd he say? The very next thing he said was, nah, man, he's just out here helping the rich people. And I was like, how? I said, but you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's got their own definition of rich. I'm not here to tell anybody that they're wrong. So you know what I told him? Well, if you've identified that he's out here helping the rich, go get rich. Like, am I tripping? If you realize that someone is in a position of power to affect the country that only helps people with money, if you go outside and stand on your soapbox and say, hey, you guys, he's only helping the rich, is there anybody in that crowd that you happen to gather going to say, well, I need to go be fucking rich then, right? Like, why didn't you start there? If somebody in a position of power, in your opinion, is here to only help the rich, that should be your greatest motivation to go get rich. Help me get richer, right? I don't know. If you made it this far, okay? If you made it this far, either say it out loud or type it in the comments. Being broke isn't for me. Being broke isn't for me. Say it. Say it. Being broke isn't for me. Type it, write it, hang it up on a wall. Being broke isn't for me. You'll start reversing the process to do what's indeed right for you. Your mind will start to shift. Your pockets will shift afterwards. Your life will change. You can put that in any order. It makes me no difference. Because if I see you on the side of the road asking me for money, I'm going to give you shit. All right. Hey, man. We out, man. Keep it crispy. We gone.